We're on your side with tonight's cover story, caregiving during the holidays. It's estimated there are 369,000 caregivers providing unpaid Alzheimer's and dementia care in North Carolina alone. For many, it's a full-time job caring for a loved one with few or no days off. And that also includes right now during the holidays. It is taxing, exhausting, mentally and physically. It's why any support, especially this time of year, can be so helpful.
Oh, look at this one. You know who this is.
If you get her talking about them, Carolyn Biddix will tell you all about the ornaments on her Christmas tree. She painted every one of them.
Yes, I did.
A lot of the oil paints around here, that was her medium, they're hers.
Katie Wasden is Carolyn's daughter. Painting was Mom's hobby. Math was her career.
She was, matter of fact, the only graduate in her class at Wake Forest that was female.
One smart cookie.
Yes, yes, she definitely is. And when we pass a community college now, she'll say, "Oh, I could go there and teach." And I said, "Yes, you can."
At least she could, before dementia slowly began eroding her memory.
Who is that?
That's Caleb.
Caleb.
Like names, now posted below family photos. When did you start noticing some symptoms, some things that didn't quite seem right?
I would say probably about 3.5 to 4 years ago. I'd given her a phone and she called my sister and said, "I've had to do a detour. I don't know how to get home." And so that was sort of our first indication that maybe something just wasn't quite right.
Katie was a nurse who worked with aging patients. She knew what was happening.
I think that having maybe a nursing background helps me prepare and be aware maybe of the things that she needs to make life a little easier. But at the same time, it sort of didn't prepare me.
Because it's Mom.
Because it's Mom. Exactly. And you don't want to keep losing parts of Mom.
Katie lives in Southern Virginia. During the week, she comes down to live with her mom here in Salisbury. She takes her back to her house on the weekends.
It's not always easy. I think, why can't I look after a 96-year-old little woman? But she, sometimes she can be a handful.
Are you having to give up things? Are you having to give up spending time with your own grandchildren or your children to do this?
Most definitely. But you give up that, and you give up going to the movies at night or going out to eat or anything. But at the same time, I think, I chose this. It was my choice.
I mean, everybody's story is unique, but there are global experiences that caregivers have.
Christine John Fuller works for the Alzheimer's Association. I think we all know growing up, right, at some point as we age and we get older, we're going to have to probably take care of Mom or Dad at some point. But when it's dementia and Alzheimer's, it's a different level.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just even the number of hours that they may be giving a month. I mean, we know by statistics that it is about 27 more hours than a non-dementia related caregiver. And I think that's even feels like an underestimate based on the experiences we have.
It's why she reminds caregivers, pace yourself, give yourself some grace.
It's kind of like when you're on an airplane, right? They say put the mask on yourself first and then help the person next to you. It's the same thing, that you have to make sure that you are in a place in which you are healthy as you can be, both mentally, physically, spiritually.
It is very difficult being a caregiver.
When Katie needs a break, she calls on Andrea Moore at nearby Trinity Living Center.
And it's a safe place for them to be, to where they don't have to worry about forgetting things. They don't have to worry. They're with their peers, and it's safe, and it's a good place for them to be. It feels like home. It really does.
For those who aren't living it day to day, minute to minute,
right,
they can't necessarily always relate, can they?
No,
to what
they
you're
cannot.
going through.
No, they cannot at all.
If you would talk to somebody who is just starting this process with their parent, what would you tell them? What do they need to know?
First of all, be flexible. You're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. I mean, we're only human. We're not superhuman. The aggravation's going to be there. But I think that that's the big thing. Don't beat yourself up. Know that you're not alone.
In the most important, most difficult, most rewarding job anyone could have.
I really felt like God had told me, you're going to be in a position you can look after your mom. So I've never told anybody that. I feel like it was a calling.
You're proud of her, aren't you?
I have 4 daughters. So.
It's amazing what caregivers do. Christine offered, by the way, some ideas on what you can do to help a caregiver. Number 1, make an appointment to give a caregiver a break. Check in to see how they're doing, because caregiving can be really isolating. Also, offer to maybe to tackle their to-do list for them. That's a big help. And here around the holidays, you pick up some of the traditions the caregiver typically does, the hosting, the cooking, or the planning. All of those things can help out someone who is working so hard for mom or dad.